And it's worse than you could ever imagine. We already covered the federal complaint, so the new and official Big U indictment just dropped. And it's worse than you could ever imagine. We already covered the federal complaint, so we're only gonna cover the relatively newer stuff that's only in the indictment and not in the federal complaint. They've been investigating Big U since 2021, and the indictment kind of shows that because they cover literally every track and every angle. In this indictment, they're painting Big U as a murderous extortionist, and because they're trying to paint him as an extortionist, they took a great deal of interest in his podcast, Checking In, and especially the theme song of his podcast, Checking In.
He got a podcast called Checking In. It's crazy, bro.
In the theme song, Snoop Dogg is rapping, if you don't check in, things are going to be really ugly for you when you get to LA.
When you hop off the plane, check in. Penthouse suite, check in. When your feet hit the street, check in. Cause if not, shit get hot, you better check it in.
Out of context, this song is a nothing burger, but when you put this song in context with everything that's going on, it's everything burger. The feds are saying that Big U is an extortionist, that Big U has built an empire off of extorting, intimidating, and squeezing celebrities and business owners who's operating in the city of Los Angeles. So when they see that his podcast name is Check In, and then they're running with the theme song to say, this is just consistent with everything we're already telling you guys. Now, this is where the internet gets Big U in trouble, because the feds will also include a video that Big U posted to his Instagram.
Movie production in the hood.
Oh, yeah.
That's how we do it, you know.
Right on 60th Street.
Top flight, baby. Yeah.
GB running this here movie set in the hood.
Come on out here.
Coming out here and checking in with GB, getting these movies done. You better know it. You know what I mean? Anytime you want to do movies in the hood, just check it in. We can make sure it's done. Movies, videos. But if you don't check it in,
oh well. Check your ass out.
We're gonna check you in, all right. We're gonna check it all of your equipment. We're gonna check it all of your equipment.
And these niggas just up here laughing like that shit, that ain't funny, bro. Like, what the hell? That's what's wrong with us, bro. We just
hindsight is 2020. If you would have told Big U in 2021 that this was a crime and the feds would be investigating him and linking this to extortion, he would have told you you're out of your mind. Like, this is just like a silly IG video. But once you look at the behavior from today's lens, this looks crazy. Like, this looks insane. Why would you put a target on your back like this, bro? Why would you openly admit that you will extort somebody, especially a business owner who gets like a permit from the city to film? Because in order to film in like the street, like an actual movie, you have to get permit from the city. So on top of getting a permit from the city, the government is allowing me to do it. I have to check in and pay you guys for me to do.
You feel me?
Horrible. The feds included an itemized list of Big U's extortion or attempted extortion attempt from just one victim. And there's multiple victims, okay? As you can see right here, there's literal dates and dollar amount and whether or not it was a successful extortion or an attempted extortion. Now, all of this, like this entire itemized list, is only coming from one victim, and there's multiple.
When y'all know anything about the feds is they petty. Like just like this, they got dollar amounts on everything. Like I said, especially when you know people that be drug dealers, they out there selling that stuff. You feel me? They gonna track you from how much you sold to like literally from the kilos on down to how much it was, how much money you got, and everything. And that's how they gonna add on to the to your time with this.
We'll itemize list for other victims as well. So
that's how in depth that the feds get. Just so you guys
can wrap your head around about the levels of extortion that was going on and how frequent they were. The video is still going, and this is still
like every 6-7 days.
Victim.
A little bit, then they go.
Big U was literally paying his bills according to the feds by squeezing business owners who wanted to operate in the community. So, for example, if somebody wants to open up a corner store in South Central, you got to tap in with Big U. If you want to, let's say, open up an ice cream truck for the kids, you got to tap in with Big U. And the feds is like, it went on for far too long, and they were sick of it. That itemized list belongs to the owner of the dispensary that got robbed by Big U and others. He's listed in the report as victim 1. So everything you just saw all came from victim 1. So if you hit one person for that much, imagine how much you hit for everybody else. Now, the feds will also tackle Big U developing options and his LLC and nonprofits, claiming that he committed bank fraud, wire fraud, and just fraud in general because he utilized the nonprofit to enrich himself by transferring the nonprofit assets and donations made to the nonprofits, transferring it over to his personal account and using it for personal reasons that has nothing to do with the nonprofit. On November 3rd, 2021, feds will allege that Big U transferred $15,000 from Developing Options bank account into his personal account. On March 28th, 2022, feds will claim that Big U transferred $10,000 from his nonprofit Developing Options into his personal account. Between September 26, 2022 and October 7, 2022, feds claim Big U would transfer $13,000 from Developing Options into his personal account. November 15, 2022, feds will claim that Big U transferred $10,000 from Developing Options into his personal account. December 19th, 2022, feds will claim that Big U transferred $5,000 from Developing Options into his personal bank account. It just keeps going. And according to the feds, they don't even think this is a tenth of the money that Big U embezzled, right?
It probably ain't, though. That's the thing.
Yo, if you just scroll down, and if this is not a tenth of it, you will count well over 200,000 of money they claim that Big U took for himself when it was supposed to go to the nonprofit. And they will also claim that Big U secured a lot of these donations from celebrities and athletes and other nonprofits through intimidation and extortion. From my perspective, the only slam dunk the feds believe they have is the wire fraud, the bank fraud, and the embezzlement. Because even this murder, I believe it's like a guarantee. Like the feds believe they have a very solid case and it's a guarantee as well. But the embezzlement is like clear cut, bro. Like it's black and white, homie. Like there's transfers from this to your personal account. Like it's in 4K. So I believe the feds know that this is like their slam dunk. So this is something that they believe that if all else fails, we can at least give Big U 10 years off of this alone. Now, the feds will also give more detail regarding the murder of Big U's son's best friend, Rayshawn Williams, and the extent that they believe that Big U went to cover up his murder. So, Rayshawn Williams, we all know, I don't need to rehash it. Rayshawn Williams was in Las Vegas. Big U went to Las Vegas, and the feds are accusing Big U of killing Rayshawn Williams in Vegas. Now, Rayshawn Williams and Big U was in the studio together earlier in the night before, the feds claimed Big U allegedly murdered him. So the feds will list out ways that Big U went above and beyond to conceal, hide, and really throw the feds off in their investigation of Rayshawn Williams' murder. This is where Rayshawn Williams' body was found. Feds believe that Big U and Rayshawn Williams was in the car together. Big U's phone was on airplane mode or completely off because it wasn't transmitting data. Big U murdered Rayshawn Williams and dumped his body here, according to the feds.
Now, how he gonna explain that? I don't know. Like I said, because it just it don't make sense from the story, bro. Like it don't make sense. Like I said, they got into an altercation. Like I said, they seen him with Big U from I think 1:15 to 2 o'clock in the in the night. Then he ended up disappearing, and he found there. Who did it? Who did it? y'all let me know who did it. You feel me?
When Big U was notified from somebody that Nevada police was gonna be interviewing the
nigga's a menace to society,
of the studio that him and Rayshawn Williams was at the night of the murder, Big U instructed the producer and all the employees to leave the studio and not come back that day. And Big U would allegedly send associates from the Big U enterprise listed as DS and others known and unknown to the grand jury. And these people from Big U Enterprise went to the studio and they removed portions of the security system from the studio. They removed security video and data from the times that victim Rayshawn Williams and Big U was there, and Robinson, who was with Big U, were present at the studio prior to victim Rayshawn Williams' murder. This is one of those things where you don't want to believe that a man would murder his son's best friend, but when you have evidence, proof, text messages, correspondence that proves that Big U associates removed security systems and went out of their way to conceal evidence that they were with Rayshawn Williams that night, you kind of have to wonder and ponder, bro, like why? Like why would an innocent person do that? January 27th, 2 days after the murder, approximately 10:03 p.m., KF, another associate from Big U Enterprises, called the Airbnb that Big U allegedly visited that Rayshawn Williams was staying. Because according to the police,
to not speak with the law
Big
enforcement.
U and Rayshawn Williams left the studio, drove to the Airbnb, and the footage from the Airbnb showcased that Big U and Rayshawn Williams returned back to the Airbnb. Rayshawn Williams grabbed all of his stuff and they left. And that was the last time Rayshawn Williams was seen. So an associate of Big U who booked the Airbnb for Rayshawn Williams contacted the owner of the account that he used to book the Airbnb. And they instructed the owner of the Airbnb not to speak with law enforcement about Rayshawn Williams' murder. These are still allegations at the end of the day, but this is really allegations, silly, bro. Can you imagine being an Airbnb owner, getting a message from some random person who stayed at your place that day or two, and they tell you, "Hey, bro, when the police come, bro, asking about this murder, don't cooperate, man. Yo, as an Airbnb owner, bro, you probably look at that message like, bro, I'm calling the police right now."
You got to, cause like I said, what, like, bro, if I ain't got nothing to do with it, I am telling. You feel me? You're not about to jeopardize my business because you are, unaliving people. You crazy as hell if you don't. Hey, okay. Whatever. Telling that day.
Again, I don't know who KF is. KF could be completely innocent.
Like I said, it's just all allegations.
KF, when you were contacting the Airbnb owner, like, do you feel like this is gonna work? Do you feel like a random Airbnb owner will look at your message and say, "Yeah, I'm gonna do this guy who I don't know a favor by not cooperating with the police in a murder investigation and risk getting myself arrested"?
Hell no, you crazy as hell.
Sense to me at all. February 3rd, 2021, the same associate falsely told law enforcement that he did not know the address of the studio and did not have a number for or any way to contact Big U, because KF was who booked the Airbnb for Rayshawn Williams when he went to Las Vegas. On December 31st of 2022, an interceptor call, which is a wiretap, got Big U explaining his motivation for committing murders on behalf of the Big U enterprise.
Damn.
On the call, Big U will state, "What you guys see on the internet, y'all keep hearing other people who don't have nothing to talk about sell. Let me explain to you." Now, this is where it gets really bad, like terribly bad. "Let me explain something to you. If I would have had a problem with any man, color, creed, king, or kind, the issue would have been resolved and he wouldn't be here or I wouldn't be here. It ain't no kid nothing," in reference to Rayshawn Williams. "Man, bro, I ain't trying to head at he's a kid stuff. And it damn near nobody who been in this MF longer than me can stand against me and me be who I am. If I had a problem with any man and this wouldn't be so funny to me, I'm still who they say I am." This goes against the persona the feds will say that Big U used to start the nonprofit to give millions of dollars back to the city of Los Angeles for his grid program.
That's why I was trying to say, bro, this is all a cover up, bro. Like I said, they used to do it back in the day. The mob bosses used to do that back in the day. They paying the police laws so they can keep them off their tails so they can do what they do. You feel me? Like, so what, like, you come on, bro. Any smart person would know, like, this is a cover up, bro. Like I said, all these niggas starting labels, these OTL, 4PF, all that. Like, why you think Lil Baby said, "You know what, I'm gonna drop that 4PF label"? Cause they don't want the feds out there. I don't blame them. Cause niggas out here committing crimes and get under that label, under that name. You feel me? Like, y'all gotta be smart. But like
they would say that Big put on a persona of a changed man.
No.
But in fact, that was furthest from the truth. And that Big U was still actively engaging in gang activities and violent activities and murdering people. And the nonprofit and the Big U enterprise and the legal game was nothing but a con to enrich himself, according to the feds. Now, there's a video that Big U dropped before he turned himself in, when he's in the vehicle talking about how he's being framed. Now, in that vehicle, he mentioned Whack 100, he mentioned Loose Cannon, he mentioned Brick Baby, he mentioned how people are going to try to tell on him. And the feds will say that, that's witness intimidation, right? That Big U put that video out there
tell them
to try to hinder the process, to try to deter people who could potentially cooperate against them. And they will say that this is proof that even in his darkest times, even when he surrendered himself in, he's still trying to intimidate people.
Still trying to intimidate people.
That was Big U's attempt to intimidate people who could potentially help the investigation against them. Now, if you know, or if you are new to this channel, you will know that I actually dropped a video claiming that I believe the video that Big U dropped before he surrendered himself in, I felt like that video right there was a big mistake. The feds will even claim that Big U dropping the video on his youth football team Instagram page is Big U attempting to smear the jury pool, to contaminate the jury pool.
Yep.
Now, I think they're reaching in that regard, claiming that this man professing his innocence, claiming that, you know, he's being railroaded, claiming that this is racism. I don't feel like that's him contaminating the jury pool, right? That's just him, you know, professing his innocence, which he has every right to do.
Yeah, I mean, like,
once you start naming,
you're innocent to proven guilty.
You start, you know, pointing out people who could potentially cooperate. That's where the feds have an issue with it. Now, the lawyer Mo Gannon, he would actually drop a brief reaction to Big U's indictment becoming unsealed, and here's what he had to say.
After perceived disrespect, the feds say they have surveillance, cell phone data, and family interviews that all point to Henley as being the last person seen with RW, the murdered rapper. And they say that there was an alleged cover-up where Henley and his associates went into the studio and got the surveillance tapes right before the murder happened. There's armed robbery of a marijuana dispensary. Henley allegedly ordered the robbery of a dispensary where an extortion victim worked. After the robbery, the victim was invited to Henley's home and told, that's how you rob yourself. There's allegations of ongoing robberies and threats by loose cannon. They say they allege that Williams continued violent behavior, including a recent pistol whipping that was caught on video. Then there's extortion of business owners. Victims.
Ooh, see that one, that they ain't said nothing about that one. If y'all know what he talking about, y'all know what he talking about. They ain't said nothing about that, and this ain't came up. This is the first time this done came up about that video.
Were extorted for thousands per month with threats of violence or robbery if they did not comply. There's a human trafficking and a sex trafficking allegation where Henley paid people to transport women across state lines for prostitution. The feds say they've intercepted communications showing explicit instructions and references to sex work. There's fraud and embezzlement. They're saying that Henley used his nonprofit called Developing Options to fraudulently obtain grants.
The feds will even take it further to claim that Big U lied about one of his employees' salary, increasing it by almost $6,000 more than he was actually making per month. And he did that so the employee, which is also somebody who was in the indictment, who was with Big U when the murder happened, who helped cover up the murder, who helped Big U extort people. Again, according to the feds, they lied about the employee's salary at Development Options so the employee could qualify for a $800,000 mortgage, right? And they'll also point to like an SBA loan for like $200,000, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So it looks like, man, they got pretty much everything they need. At this point, I'm wondering, how soon, if you're Big U's lawyer, man, do you start begging the feds for a plea deal? If I'm Big U, give me 10 years, man. All right, I'm late 50s. I come home.
You can get 10 years.
Late 60s, early 70s, man. Hey, bro, I'll take it. Okay. But y'all let me know in the comment section, what do you guys think about this, man? All right, do you guys believe Big U is innocent? Is he guilty? Let me know in the comment section. And if you're still watching, man, click on this video here somewhere on my screen to find out how this TikTok pastor ruined his entire.
What y'all think? Like I said, man, feds ain't on you for no reason, bro. Like I said, I don't give a damn. Like I said, you is innocent to proven guilty. I'm like, bro, come on, bro. It's just too much evidence getting put out there to say that nigga innocent. Even like I said, he been like, bro, all that. I don't know, man. Like I said, they trying to cook him, bro. They trying to put Big U ass under the jail, bro, for real. But like I say, shout out to Poetic Flacco for this video, man. Y'all hit that like subscribe button for me, man. Like I said, get me to 100 subs, man. You feel me? We almost have a little over halfway there. Like I said, I appreciate y'all. Y'all know, like I said, y'all like us, comment, subscribe on my videos, and let me know y'all like them. Appreciate it.